Made a mistake.
Okay.
I made a mistake. I made a mistake yesterday, Paul.
Yeah.
Big mistake. Like cataclysmic mistake in my life.
Okay.
So yesterday was Father's Day, right? It's whatever.
Yeah, right.
Like, our version of Father's Day in our house is my wife went out and bought donuts. My kid wrote a journal entry about how much he loves me. They baked cookies. That was it. Except for this one minor detail. My wife's like, why don't you just go out and look at new cars? You've been talking about it for a while. It's something you want to do. We didn't buy one yesterday.
Wow, what a weird thing to say.
Well, it's not really all that. It's not all that weird. Like, her vehicle's now paid off, and my vehicle is a 2008.
Yeah, no, I get it. But I mean, okay, but anyway, okay, yeah.
So
yeah.
I went out and looked at your vehicles, and now that's all I want.
Well, that's what I mean by that was a weird thing to say. I mean, the result of that statement would be what you're experiencing now.
Yeah. Yeah, and so, like, yeah, I shouldn't have done it.
Yep.
Shouldn't have done it.
Everything new is always nicer, Brad.
It is. I don't want to pay for it, but I really want to. The thing is, I'm not all over the board, but like I looked at a lot of cars. I didn't drive any of them. Cause it's
Sure.
Sunday. Like, none of those places are open. That's kind of why I went on a Sunday. I was like, I didn't want to.
What must that experience be like now? Well, I guess they would just let you take it.
Yeah, I don't even know. I guess they just cover their mouth and toss the keys and hope you catch it and then dip it in the hand sanitizer and then.
If you ever do buy a car, by the way, make sure you bring my wife because she is the most unbelievable negotiator. She's brutal. She almost reduced one guy to tears. Like it's unreal. Like, she's brutal.
What is she doing? I don't know. The next six weeks.
Yeah, no, she's no, seriously. Like, anyway.
So we'll get to the Apple stuff in a minute, people. This is just whatever. So actually, I'm more genuinely curious if anybody on the other side of this podcast has any personal experience with these vehicles. So here's where we're at.
Are you talking about new cars?
Well, not always.
My advice would be buy a car coming off a lease or something.
Well, so you're not wrong. That is how the vehicle that I own today was purchased that exact way. It was 2 years old, had 24,000 miles when we bought it. And we bought it in 2010. I've owned it for 10 years. That's typically what we do. We hold a car for 10 years and then we offload it when it's roughly valued at $4,000 to $5,000.
Yeah, the Susie Ormans and Dave Ramsey of the world salute you.
Yeah, so here's where we're at. I looked at the brand new Toyota Highlander, the hybrid. I like it. Well, let me put it this way.
Are you looking specifically at a truck?
Well, no, we're getting there.
I'm sorry.
Don't jump the hybrid bandwagon or whatever. I don't know. Anyways, I like that vehicle because 35 miles per gallon. That's significant. For a vehicle of that size. That's huge. I don't love the exterior, but I think I can get over it. But I'd have to buy brand new. So that's one downside.
Remember, most of the time you're in the car looking out. Yeah.
This is true. The other underlying thing is, for the most part, it has to have Apple CarPlay. Without a doubt.
Yeah, sure. I can see that. Yeah.
So I looked at a VW Atlas. I don't think I'm going to buy one of those, but they look nice. But I don't. That's the inside. To your point,
it's interesting. These are larger vehicles.
That's what
my wife
right
and I have usually had smaller vehicles, with one exception, a van. When the kids were little, and my wife especially prefers smaller cars. But one of the things I keep arguing to her is that you live in the United States of America, and everyone has big cars. And when you're on the highway or in traffic, you can't see over anything or around anything. It's awful. I kind of prefer a car, which is kind of going out of vogue, but smaller vehicle for sure. But it's impractical. It's dangerous.
Well, so the other side of this too is, I think I may have mentioned that I've finished my basement at one point on this podcast. Is I actually put stuff.
When did that happen? That doesn't.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't a big part.
We'll talk about it later. It's probably not a big deal. Anyway, yeah.
I actually put stuff in haul. I bought a tree a month ago. I put stuff in the vehicle and actually haul. Anyways.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
The car that I'm more than likely, I think, going to end up with at some point is, I really like the Volvo XC90.
Yep,
really like
that.
And that's the one I'm looking for, a CPO, certified pre-owned, 2 years old, somewhere between 20 and 30,000 miles.
Volvo's a huge success story because, Saab is gone. Obviously, GM bought them, destroyed it, and then it's gone. And then Volvo was bought by a Chinese company. I thought this is the end of Volvo. And honestly, the cars have gotten way better. It's unbelievable. So, and that car you're referring to is basically a tall station wagon, but evolved bigger. And those are really nice cars.
Yeah, and that's the problem.
Yeah, they're really expensive cars. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, sure. if you buy them like a CPO, like I'm looking at,
CPO.
What's up?
What do you mean by that?
Certified pre-owned.
I guess. Sorry. Yep.
So effectively, what you're saying, if you buy one that's
Of course, you buy it from a
2
dealer
years off,
and it's serviced. And how?
Yeah.
What's the service time frame? The warranty time frame?
I think it's 5 years, unlimited miles, but it's from the original service date of whenever the vehicle was made.
Okay, so it might be like 3.
So it might get 3 years ish.
Yeah,
and
that's
then,
good though. I mean, that's still good.
And then that vehicle would actually be like 10 grand less than a new Highlander. So
how do you look? Do you look at Consumer Reports or anything like that?
So I did. That's why I'm not buying an Atlas. Because if
yeah,
you
yeah. Well, Atlas is a new brand, and I think it's U.S. or at least North America only. I wouldn't trust it. Yeah.
Well, if you go
early
to
Volkswagens are not a good bet.
If you go to Consumer Reports and pull up SUVs and scroll to the bottom of the list
circles.
of reliability, I think Atlas is on the bottom.
Yeah. I can see that.
Now, to be fair,
if only Fiat made an SUV.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, like vehicles and holistically have gotten significantly better. Like the difference between the top and the worst is way different than it was in the 90s or whatever.
Well, as a one-time VW enthusiast and the owner of several VWs, one thing I know for sure is that when they switch over to a new version of a vehicle or release a new vehicle, first couple of years are when they iron out the kinks, and you see a lot of black circles, reliability, and it's a problem I've actually run into. Ironically, the last VW we owned, my wife's Jetta TDI, was late model, so it was like the right time to buy it, but then it was destroying the planet, so you had that little problem to deal with. But anyway, yes. So
yeah, and well, that's sort of the other benefit of the Volvo is that the model year came out, I think 2017, 2016, something like that. And it's not going to get refreshed until 2023. Not that that's a big driver because I keep the vehicles.
Yeah, but that means the time to buy it is 2021, 2022, when literally all they're doing is fixing problems.
Right. So you don't want to buy. I don't want to buy a 2016. That is like
that's what
out
I mean.
the door.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't want that.
2017 maybe, but ideally like a 2018, 2019. I don't even know if I'm buying a vehicle.
They have no history of fixing things in the first year. But yeah, I would
something like that. So it's, anyways.
But listen, whatever. The Volvo is a way nicer vehicle, regardless of whatever reliability issues. I think
they look nice. That's kind of why my wife and I are like, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
they're beautiful.
I shouldn't have looked at them. That's.
Well, your current car is, let me see if I remember this, a Honda something.
Nope. Close.
Honda, no, Pathfinder, Nissan Pathfinder.
Nissan Pathfinder, yep.
And it is old, right? 2008?
2008.
Yeah. So, I mean, my God, dude, that's living the dream. I mean,
I know. Like, so I'm well aware that I am getting close to that bottom of where your vehicle has value and then you're about to drop
fixing it starts to make no sense. Yeah, right, exactly.
What we talked about, and I don't know if we're going to do this. So right now in the market, there's actually a significant lack of new vehicles because they shut down all the damn plants. And so finding a new vehicle is tough. But the side effect of this is that used car pricing has gone up. So what I'm tempted to do is just to put my car on Craigslist or wherever for maybe like $2 grand more than $3 grand more than whatever a dealer would give me. And we could ride out having one vehicle for weeks, if not months, if we needed.
You could, especially now.
Yeah.
And I mean, when did this happen? It could have been 2 years ago. I don't know. It was at least a year ago, but probably 2 years ago. I gave my car to my daughter. I bet it was 2 years ago. I'm having a hard time with dates, but of course, then the goal becomes, well, I have to get another car. And my wife said, I think we can get by with one car. And I was violently opposed to this. And I think there's a little bit of ego in it and a little bit of, I like cars.
Yeah, you just want a vehicle. Yeah, I get it.
I work from home. I don't really go. Well, I go to the gym every day, but whatever. And I was like, well, how does this work? Would I go on trips and blah, blah, blah? And honestly, it's totally worked out. It's going to get a little more complicated when the kids are both gone and there is no other car here. Because one of the things, if I went on a trip and my wife needed to do stuff that day, she could drive Kelly to school and then have the car. But yeah, I mean, my wife and I have been sharing this car. I'm going to say it's been 2 years. I bet it's been, was she 18? I bet at least a year. I'm not sure, but it's really worked out. But you guys are young and you have a little kid and whatever. But I mean, I don't think for you, maybe it makes as much sense. But
well, the bigger challenge becomes once my wife goes back to work.
Yes, that's what I mean. Like, right, because you have to pick up the kid from school, drop the kid off, or whatever it is, and yeah, you have things to do. I mean,
but it's not like it wouldn't be the end of the world because we have a lot of flexibility, and my kid's school is on the way to my wife's work. So in theory, worst case scenario, I drive her to work, drop the kid off, come home. and then at
But
4 o'clock,
that's
go get the kid, and
yeah, okay. You could make it work, but I
we
mean,
could,
whatever.
we could.
But your wife does work
Yes,
out in a place. Like my wife
yes,
and I both work at home, so that's one of the things that I
it's a
think
huge
makes
benefit. Yeah.
the one car thing work. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well, normally I would. I mean, I would cost. This is an expensive purchase,
It is.
obviously, but I mean, like I said, you've driven this thing for forever. And,
Yeah, it's not like the lease is up and we're like, oh, let's just go blow.
yeah, I would just
35
be
grand
like,
on
if you were
cars.
like, yeah, I'm gonna buy a new Tesla or something, I'm like, dude.
Well, see, that's also there. I like the Model 3, but my problem is
that's just such a
that I realistically think the size is going to be an issue.
Yeah,
I haven't
too
driven
small.
one yet. I've driven one before, but I haven't driven one thinking like, hey, should I buy this?
right.
Just because I'm going from
I
a
am-
large vehicle and
I'm impressed by the acceleration speed of Teslas, but everything else leaves me dry. Like it is the dullest looking
the
jelly.
interior is.
All of it.
I like the idea that it's more like smartphone in the dash, like it gets updates all the time and all that good stuff.
See, that's what I don't like about it.
Really?
Yeah, if you think about like any action movie, it's always a guy, usually a middle-aged guy, who's the hero, right? It's like Keanu Reeves in those recent movies, the stupid ultraviolet movies, whatever. They always drive like a classic muscle car, and
Yeah.
part of the persona of that is those cars have no technology; they're mechanical. He can fix it himself and knows how to do it, and it doesn't get updates every day.
Yeah.
It's just a car. And as I get older, I mean, I sort of appreciate that stance. Not that I want to go buy like a 67 Mustang or something, but actually it's not really a muscle car, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to buy a classic car or anything like that. But,
Yeah.
the lack of fussiness and stuff going on,
Yeah. I mean,
I
you're
get
not.
it. I get it. I'm
The
not-
other
yeah.
challenge too is well, Teslas I'm sure will last a long time. I don't know if I want to spend 10 years in a Model 3 and be the one to find out.
Yeah, I was gonna, yeah.
Because again, it's not like I will not dump the car in 5 years, because in 5 years we'll have to buy my wife a new car. We're kind of on this pattern of we have one car payment at a time. We get a car paid off, and then we
Yep.
go buy another one. That way we only have one car payment ever at one time, unless God willing someone gets in an accident or something. But
Yeah.
we're like in this tick-tock cycle, and so we got my wife's paid off. Now we got to get mine taken care of, and then mine paid off before we even think about going to look for another car for her. So, anyways,
Right. Yep.
Apple's so
Anywho.
so Apple's going to have their WWDC today. If you haven't realized this is happening,
Oh, is that today?
yeah, we're recording this before that happens. But you know what I thought would be hilarious is if Tim Cook comes out there and he starts talking about making the switch away from Intel, and and he plays it all up, and then he just says, "Yeah, we're actually just switching to AMD." Like, does it like ARM is not the thing, and like that's just been playing everybody. He's like, "Yeah, we're just going all in on AMD. That's it."
The weirdest thing about this now, as we approach the event itself, is that the latest rumor is that the first devices are going to be a MacBook Pro
Yeah,
and an iMac, right?
Yeah.
Like it would make more sense for it to be like a MacBook, like an entry level device.
Yeah.
That's what everyone's expecting. That's what they did last time. And that's curious. I mean, and that sends a message. I think that they believe the performance is there. But whatever you think of modern MacBook Pros, you look at the new 13-inch or the 16-inch. I mean, these things are powerhouses. They can be. I mean, they come with high 799s. They're dedicated GPUs. They're amazing. They're expensive, but I mean, they're amazing. It's not like the guys. Apple's not going to lower the price because they switched their own chips. I want to be really clear about this.
yeah,
So it's not a money thing, but like, I don't. I'm sure that ARM will get there eventually. I'm sure their ARM will get there eventually. Is their ARM capable of a i7, i9 with 32 gigs of RAM and a dedicated NVIDIA GPU? I doubt it. I mean, as rosy as you may think, pro Apple, I mean, I have a hard time imagining that. So I don't know.
yep. We'll see. The other thing, which I tweeted out late last night, if I could speak, and I know you saw it, is what if Apple actually comes out and says, okay, we're going to build these ARM devices, and the only way you can get apps are through the App Store. Can you imagine how poorly that would go over right now?
Actually, right now.
But
so
you can see them doing
on that
it.
spectrum of possible things they could announce, that's in there somewhere. That's in the mix. And the rationale there would be like, look, we have spent years trying to figure out how to get apps running on this thing. And the only way we can make it work effectively is not just to allow a developer to take an existing app, recompile and ship it, but they got to go through our process, which will stringently check it. for whatever performance characteristics, battery life characteristics, etc. And the only way we can do that is to make sure that it only happens through the store.
It's an easy narrative. We've heard it before from Microsoft too.
Yeah, and that worked out great. Yeah. So, yeah, I look, that would be stupid. Given what's going on with them right now, that would be incredibly stupid. But I think we all know Apple's fairly arrogant, and you could see those guys saying, like, let's twist the screws, and we'll position it as developer and user friendly, which, by the way, is really easy to do from a marketing perspective. We'll see. That's one of the many things that makes today's announcement so interesting. And my God, they're going to drag us slowly through watchOS, iOS, iPadOS, tvOS. Here's what's going on with our services. Oh, thanks for being with us for the last 2.5 hours. Oh, there's one more thing, and it's like literally the only thing anyone gives a shit.
You forgot one. Isn't there HomePod OS?
HomePod. Thank you. Okay, whatever. I mean, but you understand, like,
yeah,
they will literally, like, bully us into submission by the time this is over.
So, do you think they're going to pump in applause because it's virtual?
like an 80s sitcom where they have like people. No, I mean, I if there was some way for people to watch this remotely safely, and you could have audiences like when your team's in the Super Bowl and locally, but it's somewhere else, obviously. So you have like an arena somewhere or a sports bar where people are, and they always cut to the scene of the people cheering or killing themselves or whatever they're doing. But
God.
Well, not, you know what I mean, being disappointed by the team.
A little dark for a Monday.
Sorry. I think they would have done something like that for sure. The overflow crowd. But yeah, they can't. So I don't know how you handle it. I mean, Microsoft gave us one example. Google would have given us one, but they wimped out, and now we'll see what they do. I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
We will see what we do, and we'll be back tomorrow with our typical hangover episode after all this digests. And we will see what comes out of the mixing pot.
Very interested.